In the cold void beyond Earth's solar system, alien observers boast of their cosmic dominion, dismissing humanity as insignificant. Yet, beneath Earth's surface, an ancient and terrifying power stirs, a silent guardian long forgotten. The tension rises as human resolve shatters alien arrogance, setting in motion a cataclysm that no star system can ignore. Earth was never invited to the council. The words echoed sharp and cold through the dim bridge of the Veshkar, the flagship of the Threlian fleet. Commanders and diplomats gathered behind a towering viewport, their alien faces drawn in expressions of disbelief and simmering contempt. Below them, the distant blue-green marble of Earth spun silently in space, a world they had long dismissed. As a relic, a biological experiment left to rot on the galactic sidelines, Admiral Krylos Vex had spent decades overseeing the sprawling Threlian dominion, his gaze burning with contempt as he addressed the assembled elite. They called themselves primitive, backwater savages. Yet here we stand, outside their systems, spying on their feeble defenses, laughing at their failure to advance. A low murmur rippled through the chamber. The arrogance was palpable, thick as the sterile metal air, as the council members reveled in their assumed supremacy. Outside, a cold starfield stretched endlessly, the silent void punctuated only by the glitter of distant systems and the fragile speck of a solitary planet cloaked in blue. For all their technological might, the Threlians had never understood the subtle power hidden beneath that surface. Inside Earth's core, deep below the noisy chaos of human civilization, the silence was profound. It was a silence born not of absence, but of waiting, an endless vigil held by the lost guardian. No one remembered the guardian's name. The ancient chronicles had faded into myth, buried under layers of time and deliberate forgetfulness. Humanity, obsessed with progress and petty wars, had forgotten too. But the guardian had not forgotten. A faint hum grew, a pulse deep beneath. The crust, vibrating through stone and metal. Sensors on the Veshkar flickered erratically, unexplained, uncalibrated interference rippling from Earth itself. "Commander Jael," Admiral Krylos barked. "Is that some form of malfunction? Interference? Sabotage?" "No, Admiral," Jael replied, eyes narrowing. "It's organic, massive, and coming from Earth's core." Laughter spilled from a diplomat, sharp and sneering. "Organic? We scan their surface every day." "No, life but their surface vermin." The Admiral's gaze hardened. "That's where you're wrong. We know very little about the depths of that planet. The Lost Guardian was a warning no one took seriously. On Earth, thousands of miles beneath the surface, a chamber long sealed, cracked open in a cascade of shifting stone. The ancient mechanisms, forged by a civilization lost to history, awakened with a grinding roar. The Guardian's eyes snapped open, fiery orbs glowing with a light older than the stars themselves. Muscle and metal intertwined in a form both terrifying and majestic. The Guardian rose, each movement shaking the planet's core like thunder. A deep, resonant voice echoed within the chamber and beyond, as if the planet itself spoke. "The time has come. The stars will bleed." Back on the Veshkar, the aliens recoiled in stunned silence. The pulse intensified, and the bridge trembled. The human lead, watching the scene from an orbital outpost near Earth's moon, a woman named Commander Reina. Drax spoke quietly into comms, her voice carrying a steel edge that silenced all chatter. "You're not ready for what we buried." Her words hung in the air like a challenge. A moment later, the Veshkar systems flickered and died, throwing the bridge into darkness. Emergency lights bathed the room in ominous red. The great viewport shattered, torn apart by an invisible force. "They thought we were alone," Reina whispered, eyes fixed on the blackened stars beyond. They never looked underground. The power had shifted. The galaxy's most arrogant species was now on the brink of terror. The Veshkar lay, crippled in orbit, a ruined monument to Threlian arrogance. Its shattered viewport bled starlight and flame into the void. Inside, chaos reigned. Admiral Krylos voice boomed over the emergency intercom, heavy with disbelief and rage. "Report! What has happened? How did we lose the main arrays? Why is the ship shaking?" Technicians scrambled beneath flickering lights, frantically repairing damaged consoles. Sensors sputtered, radar arrays blinked dead, and communication lines hissed with static. "It's the planet, sir," a young officer shouted, eyes wide. "Some kind of massive pulse emanating from Earth's core. Our systems can't compensate." Chris's lips thinned. The arrogance that had sustained the Dominion's decades of conquest now gave way to a cold pit of fear. Impossible. That planet was never meant to be a threat. It's been quarantined for millennia. Quarantine. The word hung like a curse. Through the Veshkar's dim halls, far below Earth's atmosphere, Commander Raina Drax stood overlooking a vast subterranean war room. Screens flickered with data feeds from deep within the planet's crust, where the lost Guardian now stirred awake. Raina's steel-grey eyes scanned the tactical displays with the practiced focus of a veteran soldier. Years of secrecy and shadow. Warfare had led to this moment. "We underestimated them," Raina muttered, voice low but resolute, "and the galaxy is about to pay for it." Behind her, a council of Earth's top military minds debated urgently. General Makoa, grizzled and scarred from decades of conflict, slammed a fist on the table. "They breached the outer defenses so easily. Our space fleets aren't prepared for this scale of attack." Raina nodded. They never expected the Guardian. They never prepared for the truth buried beneath. The Guardian was no mere weapon. It was a living testament to Earth's forgotten history. Millennia ago, when the stars were wild and civilizations ruthless, an ancient alliance had forged the Guardian from living matter and advanced technology. It was meant to protect Earth, the cradle of humanity, from the darkest cosmic horrors. But then came betrayal. The Galactic Council, an assembly of powerful alien races, feared Earth's potential and forced a silent embargo. Earth was quarantined, locked away from interstellar progress, left to survive in isolation. The Council, Raina continued, decided to erase us, but the Guardian endured. Now it's awake, and so are we. Back on the Veshkar, sensors flickered erratically as a massive shadow loomed in orbit. "Commander, the Guardian's energy signature is increasing exponentially." Jael reported, pale beneath his exoskeletal ridges. "Our weapons are offline. We can't engage." The bridge trembled again as an unseen force radiated outward. The Veshkar's communication arrays collapsed completely, cutting off all contact with the Dominion fleet. Admiral Krylos' face paled. "We are blind. Prepare for boarding defense protocols. This is no ordinary battle." Meanwhile, Earth's orbital defense platforms awoke, their weapon systems locking onto the disabled Veshkar. "Permission to engage, Commander," an operator requested nervously. Raina's voice was calm but unyielding. "Hold fire. The Guardian is not a weapon for war. It's a reckoning. Let it show the galaxy what happens when you cast aside a species you underestimate." In the heart of Earth's crust, the Guardian stepped forth from its chamber, every movement sending seismic tremors rippling through the planet. Its gaze turned upward through miles of rock and sky, locking onto the crippled Veshkar. With a surge of primal power, the Guardian unleashed a pulse of electromagnetic energy that disabled the alien ship's propulsion systems entirely. Explosions rocked the Veshkar as its hull breached under the strain. The once mighty vessel was now drifting powerless, a tomb in the void. Aboard the Veshkar, panic was rising. "Admiral, multiple hull breaches detected," a technician yelled. "Oxygen levels dropping in Sector 7. "Seal off those compartments," Chris ordered. "If we must die, let it be fighting." The crew scrambled, but the Guardian's assault was relentless. With precise strikes, it tore through the ship's systems like a predator dismantling prey. Far from Earth, the Galactic Council convened urgently in their citadel, orbiting the distant star Kalis Prime. High Councillor Veltran's voice echoed, filled with shock and disbelief. "The Lost Guardian, it has awakened. Earth's quarantine has failed." His fellow council members, representatives of some of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, exchanged grim looks. Veltran slammed his fist on the crystalline table. "For centuries, we believed Earth was harmless. We underestimated its ancient defenses, and now we face annihilation." "What was the Guardian's purpose?" asked Lyra, the Zephyrin delegate. "Why did we ignore it for so long?" Veltran's voice was cold. "Because it represented a threat, a reminder of Earth's forgotten power, and our own failure to control it." Back on Earth, Rayna stood beside the Guardian's massive form inside the subterranean chamber, feeling the immense energy pulsating through her veins. "This changes everything," she whispered. "Commander Drax," came a voice through her comm, "the Threlian fleets are mobilizing toward Earth's sector. They'll attempt a full-scale invasion within hours." Rayna's jaw clenched. "Then we make sure they don't reach the surface." She turned to the Guardian, whose eyes glowed with fiery intensity. "Awaken the legacy. Show them what Earth's wrath truly means." Deep space echoed with the promise of war. The Lost Guardian was no longer a myth. It was the harbinger of darkness sweeping across the stars. The moment the Guardian awoke beneath Earth's crust, ripples of ancient power surged through every fiber of the planet. The surface trembled faintly, unnoticed by the billions above, but not by those watching from orbit or farther out in space. Across the vast expanse of the solar system, Earth's hidden defenses began to hum with life, awakening from centuries of dormancy. Commander Rayna Drax stood on the command deck of the orbital station Aegis Prime, her gaze locked on the holographic projection of the solar system. Ships of the Threlian Dominion were gathering at the edge of Earth's influence, their dark shapes casting long shadows in the blackness. The war that had once been whispered about in classified meetings was now an undeniable reality. Estimated. "A time to arrival 8 hours, her tactical officer reported. His voice was steady, but the tension in the room was palpable. Rayna's eyes narrowed. "They're moving faster than expected. Their desperation is clear. They think Earth is weak." "Desperation or fear?" the intelligence analyst countered quietly. "The data shows panic in their command. The loss of the Veshkar has shattered their confidence." Rayna allowed herself a fleeting smirk. "Good, let them panic." The room was heavy with anticipation. The ancient Guardian had given humanity an edge no one else possessed, a secret buried so deep it had escaped the knowledge of even the most powerful galactic civilizations. The Guardian's energy was now coursing through Earth's core, amplifying defenses and awakening technologies long dormant. Deep beneath the surface, the Guardian extended its consciousness through a network of biometallic tendrils that intertwined with Earth's tectonic plates, sensing threats and preparing countermeasures. It was a being born of the planet itself, forged in an age before stars were mapped and before the Galactic Council decreed Earth off limits. "Commander, we have movement detected near Mars orbit," the sensor officer announced abruptly. "Multiple, unknown vessels, but their signatures match Threlian stealth classes." Rayna's eyes darted to the screen. "They're attempting a flank. We can't allow them to outmaneuver us." She tapped a command, redirecting Earth's patrol drones and deploying orbital defense satellites to intercept. Far away, the Threlian fleet was reeling. The loss of the Veshkar was a crushing blow, but retreat was not an option. Admiral Krylos Vex, aboard the secondary command cruiser Vexilon, clenched his jaw as he surveyed the broken fragments of his flagship via tactical feeds. "They have awakened something ancient. Something beyond our understanding. His chief strategist muttered, face pale beneath the cold exoskeleton. Chris slammed his fist on the console. This was not supposed to happen. Earth was to be our weakest link. Now they wield a weapon that threatens us all. His voice hardened. Prepare the fleet for full assault. We break their defenses before the Guardian fully mobilizes. Back on Earth, Rayna issued orders with the calm of a seasoned warrior, but inside, the weight of what was to come pressed down on her. The Guardian's presence had altered everything. It was no longer a battle of ships and laser arrays. It was a war of ancient power and modern technology fused into a terrifying new force. Suddenly, the orbital station Aegis Prime shuddered violently. Alarms blared. A wave of electromagnetic interference swept through the systems. Guardian pulse detected, the engineer shouted. Energy levels off the charts. Rayna's breath hitched. Status report! We're experiencing power fluctuations across all systems. Shields weakened by 20%. Weapons offline for critical recalibration. Her voice sharpened. Focus all remaining power to life support and communications. Send all available drones to scout and engage. Through the viewport, Earth's blue glow shimmered, a fragile gem surrounded by the encroaching darkness of war. Suddenly, a massive burst of energy erupted from the planet's surface, lighting the sky like a second sun. The Guardian had risen fully, its colossal form towering beneath the crust, piercing through to the surface with an eruption of power that sent shockwaves across the atmosphere. Satellites closer to Earth detected the Guardian's biometallic arms extending into the upper atmosphere, interfacing with defensive platforms and activating Earth's secret arsenal. Across the planet, hidden bases stirred to life. Long-forgotten weapon systems, remnants of a forgotten era, reactivated under the Guardian's influence. Missiles armed, railguns spun up, and pulse cannons hummed with lethal intent. The people of Earth remained mostly oblivious to the brewing storm, their daily lives continuing amidst the distant thunder of cosmic conflict. Rayna looked out at the horizon, steel in her gaze. They wanted to see us as primitive, but the Guardian has proven them wrong. It's time the galaxy learned why Earth was never just a backwater planet. In the depths of the Threlian fleet, tension mounted as unexpected. Losses began to pile up. Stealth ships sent to flank Earth's defenses were destroyed by unseen forces. Vessels were disabled by electromagnetic pulses without warning. The mysterious Guardian was rewriting the rules of engagement. Admiral Krylos' frustration boiled over. What manner of creature is this? How can a single entity cripple an entire fleet? His strategist's reply was grim. We have no record of such technology. The Guardian predates many civilizations. Krylos' voice dropped to a deadly whisper. Then we face not just a war, we face extinction. Back on Earth, Rayna convened a meeting of the highest command. This isn't just about survival, she said. It's about reclaiming our place in the stars. The Guardian is our spear and shield, but we must be the minds guiding its power. The Council debated rapidly evolving strategies, balancing the ancient Guardian's raw power with humanity's own technological advancements. They had access to quantum drives, AI systems, and experimental weapons, but these paled next to the Guardians. Sheer scale and mystic energies. We must strike first, General Makoa argued. Hit their supply lines and disrupt their communications. Starve them of resources. Rayna shook her head. They won't expect the Guardian to lead the assault. We use it as a distraction, then hit from unexpected angles. Outside the Council chamber, the Guardian flexed its vast limbs, sending tremors across continents. It was a living war machine bound to Earth's fate. Meanwhile, far from the solar system, the Galactic Council's citadel was in turmoil. Veltran paced before the assembled delegates. Earth's Guardian is awakening faster than anticipated. We underestimated the consequences of our isolation policy. Lyra's eyes blazed. We ignored their warnings. We dismissed their potential. Now we risk losing control of the entire sector. Veltran's voice dropped. We must consider extreme measures. If the Guardian threatens our rule, we may have to sever Earth from the galactic network permanently, even if it means total annihilation. The threat sent a chill through the chamber. The galaxy's leaders had never considered destroying an entire inhabited planet, but Earth had become an unpredictable variable. On Earth, Rayna received a classified transmission. The source was encrypted and ancient, traced back to a hidden network beneath the Himalayas. A hologram flickered to life, revealing the face of an elder. Once a guardian keeper, now a relic of a forgotten time. The Guardian is not just a weapon, the elder's voice warned. It is a guardian of balance. It will not let darkness spread unchecked. Rayna's heart quickened. What darkness? What are we truly facing? The elder's eyes glimmered with sorrow. The darkness that once tried to consume the stars. It has stirred again, and Earth is its last bastion. The message ended abruptly, leaving a heavy silence. Rayna turned to her team. We are fighting more than just an invading fleet. We are fighting an ancient cosmic terror. As night fell over Earth, the stars above flickered uneasily. Across the universe, old alliances shattered and new battles ignited. The lost Guardian was no longer silent. It had awoken to protect a planet that had forgotten its own legacy, and in doing so, it was about to cast darkness over the stars. The battlefield was no longer confined to the vastness of space or the fragile surface of Earth. It had spread deep beneath, where tectonic plates groaned and molten rivers carved through ancient stone. The Guardian moved with a purpose older than any star, a silent sentinel reclaiming its role in the cosmic balance. Commander Rayna Drax watched from the command center of Aegis Prime, her eyes shadowed by the weight of responsibility and a burgeoning realization. The war was far bigger than any invasion fleet or political maneuvering. Sensors aboard the station detected waves of energy, some familiar, others alien, emanating not only from the Guardian but from deep in the void beyond the solar system. Something was awakening elsewhere, something dark. Commander, our long-range scans picked up a signature, the communications officer reported. It's difficult to classify, but it's massive, approaching the solar system at subluminal speeds. Rayna's gaze hardened. Could it be reinforcements for the Threlians? The officer shook his head. No, Commander. This is something else, something ancient. The room fell silent. Prepare an alert, Rayna ordered. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that this war is about to spiral beyond our control. Meanwhile, beneath the Earth's surface, the Guardian's awakening reverberated through the planet's core, its biometallic tendrils intertwined with forgotten structures, colossal chambers, dormant engines, and vast reservoirs of energy. The Guardian extended one gargantuan hand upward, reaching through miles of rock, touching the mantle and crust with an almost reverent grace. Outside, the planet quaked violently as the surface cracked open in massive fissures, spewing ash and fire into the atmosphere. Cities shook, oceans roared, and skies darkened with volcanic clouds. Humanity's fragile veneer of normalcy shattered under the weight of something primal and unstoppable. On the surface, government scrambled. Communications were inundated with calls, warnings, and conspiracy theories. Some dismissed the tremors as natural disasters. Others whispered about the ancient powers Earth had tried to bury. Yet amidst the panic, Rayna remained a beacon of calm. She addressed the world's combined defense forces with grim resolve. The Guardian's power is ours to wield and ours to control. We will not surrender to fear or chaos. Her words echoed through broadcast channels, rallying a fractured humanity. Far beyond Earth, the Threlian fleet had regrouped, their numbers diminished, but their hatred unbroken. Admiral Krylos Vex paced his command ship's bridge, his face etched with exhaustion and fury. "They wield the Guardian," he growled. "Their planet has become a fortress no weapon can breach." A sharp alert cut through the tension. "Commander, unidentified vessels entering the system from the Oort cloud." Chris's eyes narrowed. "Scan. Identify." The response was chilling. They emit no transponder signals. Their technology predates any known civilization. They are colossal. Krylos swore under his breath. The darkness stirs. At that moment, deep space trembled. The new arrivals revealed themselves, massive shadowy forms, their hulls blacker than void, adorned with symbols that defied comprehension. They moved with a sinister grace, exuding an aura of ancient malice. The Galactic Council's worst fears materialized. The void between stars was not empty. It had always been home to entities far older and more terrifying than any council member dared imagine. Back on Earth, Reyna convened with her closest advisors. "We are no longer fighting a conventional war," she explained. "The Guardian is a shield and a sword, but it cannot fight alone." Dr. Elan Rivas, a xenotechnologist, leaned forward. "Our research into the Guardian's technology reveals it can interface with human neural patterns. We might be able to augment it, control it, link our minds with its power." Reyna's eyes burned. "Then we must prepare. We need volunteers, those willing to bond with the Guardian." The room fell into a heavy silence. "Such a bond could be irreversible," Elan warned. "The Guardian is ancient. It will change those it touches." "I know," Reyna said softly, "but it is a risk we must take." Elsewhere, in the shadowy recesses of a hidden installation, the first candidates for the Guardian bond were assembled. Among them was Kai Ren, a soldier. Hardened by countless battles, his face scarred but determined. "Are you ready?" Reyna asked, her voice steady. Kai nodded. "For Earth, for humanity." The ritual was unlike anything human science could explain. Neural implants interfaced with the Guardian's tendrils, ancient biotech syncing with cutting-edge AI. Kai felt a surge of power flood through him. Visions of stars collapsing, ancient wars raging, and civilizations rising and falling. He became the first human to wield the Guardian's full might from within. From his vantage point, Kai could feel the Guardian's anger, its sorrow, and its determination. Together, they would shape the fate of Earth and the stars beyond. The Threlian fleet pressed closer, their weapons primed for destruction, but Earth's defenders had changed. The Guardian, through Kai and those who would follow, was now humanity's living weapon. The skies erupted as orbital battles ignited. Beams of energy clashed with swirling shields, and colossal war machines descended upon the battlefield. Amidst the chaos, Kai led the charge from within the Guardian's consciousness, directing its massive limbs to crush enemy ships and protect vital installations. Each strike was a message to the galaxy. Earth was no longer a forgotten backwater. It was a force of reckoning. In the shadows beyond, the ancient void creatures observed, their attention fixed on the unfolding war, a war that threatened to awaken powers older than time itself. The lost Guardian was awakening Earth's destiny, and the stars would never be the same. The war had spread beyond Earth's atmosphere, igniting the vastness of space with furious light and deadly intent. The Threlian fleet, once confident and ruthless, now moved like hunted prey through a gauntlet they could neither predict nor endure. From the bridge of the Guardian itself, through the mind of Kai Ren, the battle unfolded like an ancient symphony of destruction and resilience. His senses were intertwined with the colossal sentinels, every motion amplified through living metal and celestial energy. He felt the weight of the planet beneath them, the pulse of life coursing through its veins, and the immense responsibility resting on his shoulders. The Guardian's massive limbs tore through enemy vessels with precision and brutal force. Kinetic blasts shattered hulls. Energy tendrils disabled weapon arrays. Massive shockwaves ruptured the void around them. Each strike was a message written in fire. Earth was no longer defenseless, yet the battle was far from one-sided. The Threllians adapted swiftly, deploying new tactics that forced the Guardian to constantly evolve. Swarms of fighter drones harassed its more vulnerable joints. Specialized electromagnetic weapons aimed to disrupt its neural interface with Kai. Capital ships coordinated concentrated bombardments on Earth's orbital defenses. Kai felt the strain. Immediately, the link with the Guardian pulsed erratically, burning like static electricity through his nerves. "Focus, Kai." Rayna's voice echoed in his mind, steady and commanding. "You're the Guardian's mind. It responds to you." He gritted his teeth, calming his thoughts, attuning himself to the living machine. The bond between them was more than technology. It was symbiosis, trust forged between man and ancient sentinel. With renewed clarity, Kai directed the Guardian's arms to deflect the incoming swarm, crushing drone after drone beneath crushing force. Below, Earth's military forces rallied alongside the Guardian's defense. Orbital cannons tore through Threllian cruisers. Planetary shields shimmered under relentless assault. But the battle was taking its toll. The Guardian's energy reserves waned. Each strike depleted precious reserves tied to the planet's core. Kai knew this could not last forever. "Commander," Kai transmitted to Rayna, "we need reinforcements. The Guardian cannot sustain this pace." Rayna nodded grimly, coordinating a fleet of newly commissioned ships, faster, stealthier, equipped with experimental weaponry designed to complement the Guardian's raw power. The tide of the battle shifted as Earth's forces launched a coordinated counteroffensive. Squadrons darted through debris fields, ambushing Threllian vessels weakened by the Guardian's relentless assault. Meanwhile, on the Vexillon, Admiral Krylos watched the battlefield with growing desperation. "They are pushing us back," he snarled. "The Guardian is more than a weapon. It's a force of nature." His chief strategist, pale but resolute, replied, "We must find its source, disable Earth's core power, otherwise this war is lost." Krys's eyes narrowed. "Then we go to the planet. We bring this fight to Earth itself." Back on Earth, the situation was equally dire. Massive fractures ripped through the crust as the Guardian's awakening destabilized geological structures. Cities trembled under the strain. Millions were evacuated from high-risk zones. Rayna oversaw evacuation efforts even as she coordinated the war effort. Her comm crackled with urgent messages. "Commander, multiple underground ruptures detected near the Pacific Rift. We need immediate containment teams," she ordered. "Deploy seismic stabilizers and geological drones." The Guardian's presence was both protector and threat, a paradox that defined humanity's greatest hope. Deep beneath the surface, a shadow moved. Hidden in ancient tunnels, alien saboteurs loyal to the Galactic Council infiltrated Earth's defenses. They sought to plant devices that would sever the Guardian's connection to the planet, crippling its power and dooming humanity. Kai sensed their approach through the neural link. "Alert, Rayna," he transmitted. "We have intruders beneath the surface." Rayna's voice was ice. "Deploy countermeasures. No one breaches the Guardian's domain." A fierce subterranean battle erupted, the cavernous tunnels illuminated by bursts of plasma and explosions. Earth's defenders fought with desperate fury against the infiltrators, protecting the fragile neural network that sustained the Guardian. Above ground, diplomatic channels were aflame. The Galactic Council scrambled to contain the crisis, sending envoys with desperate pleas for ceasefire and negotiation. But the galaxy had already changed. The lost Guardian was a symbol of humanity's rise from exile, a force that would not yield. Kai felt a surge of power as the Guardian roared, its eyes glowing brighter than ever. The connection between man and machine deepened, revealing glimpses of cosmic secrets and ancient wars. In that moment, Kai understood. This battle was not just for Earth, it was for the soul of the galaxy itself. The clash between the awakened Guardian and the invading Threlian fleet had become a brutal dance of destruction, echoing through the void and seeping into the very foundations of Earth itself. The colossal sentinel moved with a terrifying grace, its every step reverberating beneath the surface, every strike tearing through the alien armada's ranks. Yet, despite its immense power, the Guardian was tethered to the planet. A giant, bound by the very Earth it protected. Kai Ren, fused with the Guardian's consciousness, felt the overwhelming burden of that bond. Waves of raw energy surged through him with every command, every motion the Guardian took. The line between his mind and the Sentinel blurred, threatening to consume him. He knew that if he faltered, even for a moment, Earth's fate would be sealed. Rayna's voice crackled in his ear, steady and unwavering. "Kai, status report." "Systems are strained," Kai replied, voice tight with effort. "Energy reserves are dropping faster than anticipated. The Guardian can't hold this pace indefinitely." "Understood. Reinforcements are en route," Rayna assured him. "But there's more. Our long-range scanners detected something." "What?" Kai asked, dreading the answer. "A second fleet. Not Threlian. Something older. Far older. Moving fast, coming from beyond the Oort cloud." Kai's breath caught. "Are you saying we're not just fighting the Dominion anymore?" "Exactly," Rayna said grimly. "There's a darkness awakening in the void, something that predates the stars themselves." As if on cue, deep space shimmered with an unnatural light. Massive, shadowy shapes emerged, drifting toward the solar system with silent menace. The Galactic Council had feared these ancient beings, the ones whispered about in forgotten legends as the Star Eaters. Their technology was incomprehensible, their intentions inscrutable, and their arrival signaled a cataclysm far beyond any war humanity had known. Kai focused, merging deeper with the Guardian's essence. He felt the ancient sentinel respond to the threat, its biometallic limbs pulsing with renewed strength as if drawing from Earth's very soul. The Threlian fleet, caught between humanity's might and the looming void menace, faltered. Panic rippled through their ranks. Admiral Krylos voice was a raw snarl. "We are caught in a trap. Earth's power grows, and now this ancient horror approaches. We must retreat or be annihilated." But retreat was no longer an option. The void creatures advanced relentlessly, their massive forms eclipsing stars and crushing light beneath their colossal hulls. On Earth, the skies darkened as the void fleet unleashed their assault. Energy waves unlike anything Earth's weapons had encountered, battered defenses, overwhelming orbital platforms, and fracturing shields. Rayna coordinated the planetary defense with desperate precision. "Focus all fire on the lead vessels. We need to slow their advance." Kai, within the Guardian, felt a surge of determination. He would not let Earth fall to this cosmic nightmare. Channeling every ounce of his will, he commanded the Guardian's arms to rise skyward, grasping the void. Ships like paper in the wind, crushing, tearing, and flinging them back into the abyss. But even the Guardian's power had limits. The Star Eaters were ancient beyond reckoning, their technology warping reality itself. Amidst the chaos, a voice echoed in Kai's mind, an ancient warning from the Guardian's creators. The balance must be preserved. Darkness and light in eternal conflict. Earth's awakening has tipped the scales. Choose your path wisely. Kai's mind reeled. The battle was more than war. It was destiny, Rayna's voice grounded him. Kai, we need to sever their command nexus. It's the heart of their fleet's coordination. Understood, Kai replied. I'll create an opening. With a massive swing, the Guardian hurled a fragment of a shattered Threlian cruiser toward the Void Fleet's command ship. The impact caused a cascade of energy explosions, fracturing their formation. Seizing the moment, Earth's fleet launched a daring assault on the damaged command ship, breaking through its defenses. As the battle raged on Earth's surface, tremors intensified. The Guardian's awakening disrupted the planet's core, causing natural disasters across continents. Humanity faced not only invasion, but survival against nature's wrath. Rayna stood on a ridge overlooking a devastated city, ash and dust swirling. In the air, her comm buzzed urgently. "We must stabilize the core," she said grimly. "Deploy every geological stabilization device we have." Meanwhile, within the subterranean chambers, Kai faced a choice. To push the Guardian's power beyond limits risked destroying Earth itself. To hold back meant surrender. He clenched, his fists, feeling the weight of countless lives resting on his shoulders. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the galaxy, hung in the balance. The void beyond Earth's atmosphere had become a battleground of titanic forces. The Star Eaters loomed like cosmic leviathans, their immense shadow swallowing stars and bending the fabric of space-time. Their technology was unfathomable, ships that seemed alive, warping reality with a thought, their very presence radiating dread. Kyren, still fused with the Guardian, felt the surge of raw power coursing through his veins. Each connection deepened their bond, merging humanity's resolve with the ancient Sentinel's cosmic might. Yet, as powerful as the Guardian was, the Star Eaters challenged even its limits. "Commander Rayna," Kai transmitted through the neural link. "The Guardian's energy reserves are critically low. The Star Eater's assault is draining Earth's core. If this continues, the planet itself could become unstable." Rayna's voice came back steady, though grim. "We're deploying emergency stabilization tech worldwide, but it may not be enough." The battle escalated with ferocity. The Star Eaters unleashed waves of reality-warping weaponry, tearing through orbital defenses, distorting space around Earth and severing communication lines. Amidst the chaos, Kai sensed a shift in the battle's tide, a hidden vulnerability within the Star Eaters' seemingly impenetrable fleet. "Rayna," he said, voice taut with urgency. "Their command nexus, it's not just a ship, it's a psychic hive mind. Sever it, and their fleet will falter." "Understood." Rayna replied, "Coordinating a strike team now." The strike team, comprised of Earth's elite pilots and augmented soldiers, launched on stealth craft, weaving through chaos toward the heart of the enemy formation. Kai commanded the Guardian to create an opening, a violent rip in the Void Fleet's defenses. The Guardian swung its colossal arms, pulverizing enemy vessels and diverting their attention. Inside the lead command vessel, the Star Eaters sensed the approaching strike. A psychic scream pierced the void, a collective roar of ancient fury, but Earth's strike team pressed on. Rayna watched tensely as the stealth crafts infiltrated the command nexus, planting devices designed to disrupt the hive mind. Suddenly, explosions erupted. The nexus faltered. Enemy ships faltered, confusion rippling through their ranks. Kai pushed the Guardian's power further, sending shockwaves that shattered the fleet's cohesion. Victory seemed within reach, but the battle was not over. The Star Eaters unleashed their ultimate weapon, a singularity pulse designed to consume all life and energy within reach. The void itself warped, threatening to tear Earth from existence. Kai and the Guardian braced. With a roar that shook the stars, the Guardian absorbed the pulse, channeling it deep into Earth's mantle. The planet trembled violently, cities collapsed, oceans churned. Yet the pulse was contained. Kai's body screamed in agony from the psychic backlash. Rayna's voice broke through the pain. "Hold on, Kai. Earth needs you. With one final surge, the Guardian unleashed a cataclysmic wave of energy, shattering the remnants of the Star Eater fleet. Silence followed. Earth hung in the void, battered but alive. Kai collapsed inside the Guardian's core, drained but victorious. Rayna stood before the War Council, voice resolute. "This war is far from over," she said, "but Earth has shown the galaxy it will not be forgotten. The lost Guardian had awakened, and so had humanity's true legacy. The aftermath of the battle left Earth scarred but unbroken. The planet's surface bore the marks of the cosmic war, the shattered cities, the cracked crust, and the lingering echoes of ancient power awakened beneath the soil. Yet humanity's spirit burned brighter than ever. Commander Rayna Drax stood atop the ruined remains of an old observatory, gazing up at the stars that still shimmered defiantly above the haze. The vastness of the galaxy no longer seemed distant and cold. It was a battlefield, a place of legends, and now a place of humanity's reckoning. Kai Ren remained within the Guardian, his body weakened, but his mind intertwined with the ancient Sentinel's infinite strength. The bond was no longer just symbiosis, it was transcendence. From within, Kai could feel whispers, echoes of civilizations long gone, warnings encoded in the Guardian's very essence, and glimpses of futures yet to be written. The battle was only the beginning. The Guardian's voice resonated within Kai's mind. "A greater darkness stirs. Our awakening has attracted forces beyond the known cosmos." Rayna's comm crackled. "Kai, we're receiving encrypted transmissions. Unknown origin, but the technology resembles that of the Guardian's creators." Kai's eyes narrowed. "The ancients. They're reaching out." The message was a call, a warning, and a plea. The ancients had long watched Earth, guardians of cosmic balance, protectors of the ancient pacts. But something had fractured in the dark recesses of space. A new threat, born from chaos and forgotten vengeance, stirred beyond even the Star Eaters. Rayna convened an emergency council. Scientists, strategists, and mystics gathered in a rare union, understanding that the war was no longer merely military, but existential. Dr. Ellen Rivas, the xenotechnologist, laid out the grim assessment. "The Guardian's power is a beacon. It has torn open gateways in space-time, attracting entities of unimaginable scale." General Makoa's voice was resolute. "We must prepare Earth and our fleets for what's coming. Our technology, combined with the Guardian, must evolve." As preparations began, underground facilities accelerated research into the Guardian's ancient tech. Neural interface programs expanded, training more volunteers to bond with the Sentinel's extensions. Kai, growing stronger with each connection, trained relentlessly. His mind melded further with the Guardian, learning to manipulate energies and dimensions beyond human comprehension. One evening, as the twin moons rose over a ravaged horizon, Kai reached a new threshold. He projected his consciousness beyond Earth, reaching into the void itself. There, amidst the swirling stars and shadows, he glimpsed the next adversary, an entity of pure entropy, seeking to unravel creation. Rayna's voice broke through the vision. "Kai, you must anchor yourself. This power can consume you." Kai smiled faintly. "I've never felt more alive." But even as hope blossomed, whispers of betrayal rippled through the galactic networks. Not all factions welcomed humanity's rise. The Galactic Council fractured, torn between fear, envy, and desperation. Some sought alliance. Others plotted to extinguish Earth's flame before it could fully ignite. Rayna's leadership became the beacon that held humanity's fractured allies together. "We face enemies within and without," she declared, "but Earth's legacy is stronger than any threat." As the stars watched silently, the lost Guardian and humanity stood ready. The next war would decide the fate of the cosmos. The galaxy had shifted. The war that began as an invasion of Earth had evolved into a cosmic struggle of ideologies, ancient powers, and the fight for survival itself. The Lost Guardian, once a myth, had become the embodiment of humanity's defiant resurgence and the fulcrum upon which the fate of countless worlds now balanced. Commander Rainer Drax navigated the political labyrinth with a warrior's resolve and a diplomat's cunning. The Galactic Council, fractured and fearful, convened in endless debates, many seeking to contain or destroy Earth rather than confront the deeper threats now emerging. Earth's rise threatens the old order, Councillor Velen hissed during a clandestine meeting. They wield power that surpasses all known civilizations. We cannot allow this to continue, but others, scarred by past wars and cosmic devastation, urged caution. Councillor Lyra whispered, "The Guardian is a force of balance. We must seek alliance or risk destruction for all." Rainer's voice cut through the turmoil in the war room. "We are not alone in this fight. The darkness that hunts us seeks to consume all life. Together, we can survive." The unity was fragile. Meanwhile, Kyren, still bound within the Guardian's neural web, uncovered deeper layers of the ancient Sentinel's memory, fragments of a cosmic war waged eons ago, where the forces of light clashed with primordial shadows. Through visions, Kai saw the rise of the entropy, a formless void entity bent on unraveling reality. It had once been sealed by the ancients, but cracks in the cosmic fabric now threatened its resurgence. Kai's mind trembled under the weight of revelation. "This is no ordinary enemy," he confessed to Rainer during a private comlink. "The entropy seeks to devour all creation, starting with Earth." Rainer's expression hardened. "Then we must be the shield that holds the line." Earth's fleets expanded, incorporating alien allies who saw hope in humanity's fierce will. Armadas formed, blending technology and the Guardian's ancient power. Amid the preparations, sabotage struck. Unseen agents planted explosives. Data leaks fractured command integrity, and paranoia poisoned the ranks. Rainer's leadership was tested as never before. "Trust is our greatest weapon," she insisted. "We fight not just with firepower, but with unity." The Lost Guardian, through Kai, prepared to unleash new abilities, tearing dimensional rifts, harnessing energy storms, and bending the battlefield's very physics. In a daring raid, Kai led the Guardian's extended limbs through a collapsing stargate, striking at an entropy stronghold hidden within a dying nebula. The battle was fierce. The entropy's minions, creatures of shadow and void, twisted reality to their will, but the Guardian's light pierced the darkness. With a roar that echoed across dimensions, the Guardian shattered the stronghold, buying precious time for the Galactic coalition. Yet the cost was high. Kai's human form weakened. His consciousness tethered precariously to the Guardian's immense power. Rainer vowed to find a way to save him and to harness the Guardian's full potential. The war for Earth was no longer just survival. It was the dawn of a new cosmic order. The weight of the cosmos pressed down like a suffocating shroud, yet Earth and its Guardian refused to yield. Kyren's connection with the ancient Sentinel had deepened beyond all expectations, but with every surge of power came an increasing toll on his humanity. Rainer watched as Kai struggled, his body frail, mind stretched thin across dimensions. Yet within him burned a fierce resolve, the burning core of a species that had endured exile and betrayal to rise stronger than any legend. "The entropy grows bolder," Kai warned during a rare moment of lucid communication. "Their tendrils reach into realities we barely understand. If they breach the Guardian's defenses, Earth will be consumed." Rainer nodded grimly. "Then we strike first." A council of war was convened on Earth's most secure orbital platform. Allied species, once wary or hostile, now stood united against the primordial darkness. Plans unfolded rapidly, a multi-front assault aimed at severing the entropy's spreading influence across space-time. The Guardian, through Kai, would lead the vanguard, its power a beacon and hammer to shatter the shadows. Deep within a warped sector of space, known as the Shattered Veil, the entropy's domain awaited. Time itself twisted, memories fractured, and hope wavered like a candle in a gale. Kai prepared the Guardian for the assault. Neural links expanded, connecting new human and alien operatives with fragments of the Guardian's essence, creating a living network of sentinels across the fleet. As the Armada entered the Veil, reality shifted. Gravity reversed, stars blinked, outer illusions danced. The entropy unleashed nightmarish creatures, amorphous beasts that devoured light and sanity. The fleet fought desperately, their advanced technology struggling against an enemy that warped physics itself. Kai fused. With the Guardian's might, became a tempest of light and force. His every movement shattered void shadows, carving a path through the madness. But the entropy responded with fury. Its core, an endless maelstrom of darkness, pulsed, threatening to engulf the Guardian and all it protected. Rayna coordinated. Fleet maneuvers, guiding ships through the Veil's hazards, shielding the vulnerable. The battle stretched across hours that felt like eons. Allies fell. New heroes emerged. Kai found himself face to face with the entropy's avatar, a colossal form of swirling blackness and torment. "Your light is a fleeting flicker," it hissed. "I am the end of all things." Kai's voice rang with defiance. "You are the shadow to be overcome." The ensuing clash was cataclysmic. Energy shattered space. Realities bent and snapped, and the fate of all creation teetered on the edge. Kai tapped into the deepest reserves of the Guardian's power, channeling a burst of primordial energy, a radiance forged in the dawn of time. This entropy recoiled, its form unraveling beneath the assault. With one final strike, Kai shattered the core, collapsing the veil and sealing the entropy's influence, for now. Exhausted, Kai's consciousness teetered on the brink of oblivion. Rayna reached out across the neural link. "Come back to us, Kai. You are humanity's heart." Slowly, Kai returned, weakened but alive. The galaxy exhaled. Victory was won, but the war's scars remained etched in the stars. Rayna vowed that the Guardian's power would be a force for protection, not destruction. Earth, once lost and forgotten, had risen, and the cosmos would never forget. The silence after the storm was profound. The void, once a maelstrom of war and shadow, had settled into an uneasy calm. Earth, battered but unbroken, spun beneath a sky forever. Changed. Commander Rayna Drac stood once more on the ridge, overlooking the ruins and rebirth of her home. The Guardian, its colossal form now partially dormant beneath the surface, had become both protector and monument, a testament to the fierce will of a species that refused to vanish. Kai Ren emerged from the depths, his body fragile, but his spirit indomitable. The bond with the Guardian had changed him irrevocably, part human, part something far greater. Yet, in his eyes burned the same fire that had driven humanity through exile, fear, and now triumph. "Earth owes you everything," Rayna said softly as she helped him stand. Kai smiled, a weary but hopeful curve. "We owe it to each other." The Galactic Council convened one last time in orbit, this time not as judges, but as witnesses to humanity's ascension. Councillor Lyra spoke for many. "Earth has shown us that strength lies not only in technology or ancient power, but in unity and resilience." Yet whispers lingered, warnings that the darkness beyond the stars had only been held at bay, not destroyed. Rayna addressed the gathered fleets, human and alien alike. The lost Guardian awakened to protect a planet that was written off by the galaxy, We have proven that no force, no matter how ancient or powerful, can silence the spirit of a world determined to survive. She paused, letting her words echo in the vast chamber. But this is only the beginning. We must remain vigilant. Together, we guard not just Earth, but all life against the shadows that wait beyond. Kai, standing beside her, looked to the stars. The Guardian sleeps again, but its watch never ends, and neither will ours. As Earth healed, a new era dawned, one where humanity reclaimed its place among the stars, not as outcasts, but as guardians of the fragile light. The lost Guardian's awakening had cast darkness across the cosmos, yes, but it had also ignited a light that would burn through the ages, and in that light, humanity's true story had only just begun. The end.